there has been a huge plan change. So first it was this tube, now it's this tube, but at the end of it, I'm getting the nutrition I need. On our adventure.
Ah, yeah, freezing cold here.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. This morning has been difficult, as you may be able to tell by the puke bag with me. But we eventually made it out the door, and we are on the way to my doctor. I'm glad Judd is in good spirits, because I need that energy right now.
Partially because we're gonna go get breakfast right now. Well, I'm gonna go get breakfast.
Yeah. He's getting food, I'm not. We left early enough to get him food. Harlow's been to the dog park with Judd to burn energy, and off we go to the doctor for my direct admit to the hospital. How was breakfast?
Scrumptious.
He had McDonald's and ate inside, so the smell of the food wouldn't make me more sick. Thanks for doing that.
We got the atmosphere of early morning McDonald's.
I hope it was charming.
It is.
I cannot stop dry heaving this morning. I was so violently sick. I pushed one of my last IV Zofrans, and I have nothing left to vomit, so I'm just dry heaving, and it gets so painful. I am so glad I'm going to see my doctor. We made it to the doctor's. Let's do this. And I am rocking the slippers again. Harlow's being a good girl. Judd, are you behaving?
No.
Talk to the doctor. They're gonna get me a bed at the hospital and then admit me, and most likely placing the NJ tube today. We are off to the hospital because my doctor is direct admitting me. We're going to admitting rather than the emergency room. If you want to catch up with this hospitalization and the feeding tube, I have a playlist for my feeding tube journey on my channel. And if you watch yesterday's vlog, Packing for the Hospital, I give out some important details about this admission. We made it to the hospital. Now we're just waiting for a bed and admitting. We're still waiting for a room, but they brought me a heated blanket, which makes me feel really happy.
And she's already seen the GI.
Yeah, the GI came down to talk to us, and there's discussion of possibly doing a J tube instead of an NJ, which is a permanent tube, seeing as my issues are more permanent. They don't want me to have to go through 2 tube placements and 2 procedures. But my doctor who admitted me is concerned because people with dysautonomia apparently don't tend to do very well with tube feeding, so they're going to discuss amongst each other and then decide if I'm going to get an NJ or the permanent J tube. We are down and admitting. This hospital has some awesome immunocompromised protocols, so I'm getting a private room, which means we might be here a while they're waiting for one to open up for me. They've hooked me up to saline with dextrose in it, which is sugar to help keep my blood sugars up because they keep crashing. And they gave me some medicines that have already helped me feel a whole lot better. They're already doing a great job at managing my symptoms here. And there has been a huge plan change, and I will give y'all more details on that when we get up to our room.
You're just a pooch.
Harlow's getting some love for being so good. You're a good girl.
Huh?
She wants snuggles.
Oh, God. You're just a pooch.
Happy dog. Hi, Hippo. Thanks for the snuggles. Judd and Har headed out to grab some lunch. Hopefully by the time you get back, I have a room.
I'm gonna try this new barbecue place.
Bring it back so I can smell it.
No, you're gonna get nauseous.
Probably. All right, love you.
That's the bad idea. Love you too.
Bye, Hippo. See you guys later.
Be brave.
I will. I'll be okay.
I love you.
Love you, babe. Judd's back with his lunch. I can't eat any of it for sure, but he said the sweet tea is good, so I'm gonna try that.
Collard greens are good.
Oh, the sweet tea is good. I don't want to risk it though. That is all I have. Do you like it?
So far.
All right, moment of truth. How's that pulled pork sandwich?
Maybe going back there again.
Hopefully I can eat when we go back. And Har's being good. She's got her frog legs out. Good dog. We're doing some role reversal here. Judd is now the patient.
Take a nap.
Take your nap. You deserve a nap. Judd does not get much sleep when I'm in the hospital, so he naps when he's able to. I'm still hooked up to my dextrose. They gave me medicines that have made me feel much better. My symptom control is good here, so we're still waiting for a room several hours later. We made it to my room and the mask can come off because this is an immunocompromised safe environment. I have a nightstand, a locker, some drawers. We've got a window with not a great view, but at least there's sunshine. And they made a double person room, a private room, so it's really big. And the bathroom is over there too, so I have a bathroom in my room. On the door it says high risk patients, so they know to take precautions for immunodeficiency when anybody enters, and I'm just so thankful they got my room together. They're really taking care of me here. There they are. Thank you for getting my suitcase.
Your walker tried to roll away.
Did it? What do you mean?
I didn't put the brakes on when I got her out of the back of the car. And
it rolled
down
away?
The parking lot, away it went.
Silly Harlow. That must have been fun. Thank you for bringing my suitcase.
Yep.
Let's unpack. I unpacked some things in the nightstand. I like to use my own walker in the hospital because I know how to use it better. I've unpacked my clothing in this drawer. What do you think, Hippo? Pretty great. Well, as great as it can be for a hospital stay, right? Gotta find the positives. Shut it. Shut it. Good dog. Yeah, good girl.
So Jack was just taken away for an x-ray. I don't know which one, and she's left Harlow and I up to our own devices until she gets back.
So I'm back from my chest x-ray. I think that's just pretty standard since I have asthma. I usually get chest x-rays when I become admitted somewhere. So I am admitted to get a feeding tube. I have 3 main disorders that are causing GI issues. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it's a connective tissue disease that can cause malabsorption and digestive issues. Median arcuate ligament syndrome, a ligament compresses my celiac artery, restricting blood flow and causing a lot of GI issues. And gastroparesis, which is delayed stomach emptying due to a partially paralyzed stomach. All of these have contributed to a horrible month where I've barely been able to eat at all. And over the past 6 months, I've just progressively been getting worse with my GI issues. And now it's to the point where I'm so malnourished that I'm blacking out from doing the simplest thing. I'm very weak. So we've tried other alternatives, nothing's worked. It's time to take the next step and get the feeding tube. Originally, we discussed getting an NJ, which is nasal jejunum. It goes up your nose, down your esophagus, past your stomach, into your small intestine, the part called the jejunum, because it's more of a temporary tube to see if I tolerate the feeds and to see if it helps me. But also, when I came to the hospital, a GI doctor approached us and told me that they'd rather just go straight for a J tube, which goes through your abdominal wall to your jejunum, your small intestine, because my problem is more permanent and there's no point in doing 2 placements, 2 procedures, you know, just go straight for what I need. And even when I'm not as bad as I am now, I still can't eat enough to maintain my weight. So when I'm at my best, I can eat about 60% of my daily recommended intake. So the tube would do the other 40%. Right now, when I can only eat 5% and less of my daily intake, the tube would do the other 95%. So we're going with a J tube. I haven't spoken to the doctors, but the doctor who saw us was going to go back and discuss with the team an NJ or a J tube, and I'm scheduled for surgery on Friday morning, so I'm guessing that's a J tube, because an NJ is not a surgery, a J tube is a surgery. I'll know more when I see the GI team, probably tomorrow. To make sure I last until Friday, which Friday is awesome, by the way, because Judd has no work that day, so he can be there for me. They're starting me on TPN tonight. That's total parenteral nutrition. It's a way to sustain yourself when you're unable to eat food or do a feeding tube whatsoever. So they're going to do that through my port starting tonight, and they said that should help me feel like I'm coming back to life and not feel like a walking corpse, which I have been feeling like that the past month. So I'm not happy I need a feeding tube, but I'm happy it's an option because it's another tool to use in the fight against my chronic illnesses. So first it was this tube, now it's this tube, but at the end of it, I'm getting the nutrition I need.
Jack isn't feeling too well, so they're gonna bring her some more Zofran and get her infusion back up and running again. Oh, they gave Jack a little bag of IV Zofran. Came in a small bag and is currently running down through that and to her, which will hopefully start working soon.
The Zofran has run over 15 minutes into my port, and it's been about 10 minutes now, and I'm finally starting to get a little relief, but I'm exhausted from that. My from vomiting so much. It really makes my stomach spasm and hurt, so definitely wiped out from that, but thankful that the medicine is helping. So they came and gave me a little bit more medicine, some Toradol to help with the stomach cramping and abdominal pain, and I think that with the Zofran for my nausea will allow me to have a little bit of chicken broth and a few sips of water, which is awesome because the cracker I had earlier today did not stay down with that vomiting spell I had.
Ended up in one of these blue bags.
Yeah. Also, they had to start a peripheral IV because when I start TPN tonight, in case I need Zofran again, they got to be able to have access. So I need 2 access points. So my port and a peripheral IV. It's been so long since I've had a peripheral IV. I feel like I can't move my arm, but I can. They used an ultrasound to find the vein in only one stick. That's like not very typical for me. And there's this stat lock thing there to keep it in place. So this is a really neat setup. And with the medicines and the fluids running with the dextrose, I'm feeling better, and I'm gonna try and have a little bit of chicken broth now.
Jack just wanted to go get an angiogram, which is an imaging done with contrast. Oh, she'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes-ish, something like that. Yeah, anyway, she's gone. Not there anymore. Those angiograms are so weird because when they do the contrast, it makes your body feel really hot in certain places, and I always feel like I pee myself, but nope, just the contrast. And they needed the peripheral IV for the contrast. I can put contrast through my port, but the correct needle isn't in my port right now for contrast, so. Anyways, we're just waiting for them to hook up TPN next, and honestly, with all the imaging and testing they've been doing, I'm exhausted, so ready for them to hook up the TPN and go to sleep. Oh, speaking of sleep, Judd was going to sleep over at the hospital today. He packed a bag and everything, but There's no place to stay.
There's no place for him to sleep. They have these reclining chairs, but that's so uncomfortable to sleep in, right?
Yeah, plus I have to go to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he has a 12-hour shift tomorrow and the day after, so I'm not gonna make him sleep uncomfortably. So he'll be back Friday morning bright and early for my surgery. And okay, so they said they were going to discuss with the team whether I'm doing the NJ or the J tube, and since I'm scheduled for surgery on Friday, I'm assuming they chose on the permanent J tube, but I'll know more when I see the doctor again tomorrow, so I will keep y'all as updated as I can. Oh, and yes, I was able to have a few sips of chicken broth and a few sips of apple juice, so all good there. Is she just licking you?
Yes. Jax is getting ready for bed.
I am. This is the hair thing I showed in my last vlog that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond, so I can like wash my face and stuff without my hair getting wet. I love it. So, yep, this is my bathroom, and I'm just...
Very quaint.
Yeah, there's no shower, but if I need one, there's a place to go, but hopefully I'm not here long enough to where I'll need a shower. I just took a shower using shower wipes, and that was good enough, so I'm gonna get ready for bed now.
So that's what TPN looks like.
It's total parenteral, not per whatever I said earlier, nutrition. And supposedly this is going to make me feel a whole lot better. What they did is they took my blood and made my TPN specifically for me. So all the proteins, fats, amino acids, sugar, everything in there is specifically for my body and my form of malnutrition. And also, this is basically what your body gives you after it digests food. So they said this really should make me feel a whole lot better with my malnutrition. And the reason I'm not going to only do TPN is because we want to get my digestive tract working as much as it can. And so that's why we're still doing the feeding tube, because we want my digestive tract to work if it can. But for right now, so I survive until Friday, we're doing the TPN, and I'm excited for it to make me feel better. Judd and Harlow are getting ready to head out. He works on Wednesday and Thursday, and with this week, and with his 12-hour shifts, it's just, and remember, this hospital's an hour away from our home. This is not my usual hospital. There is just no way he could practically come see me when he's working. It's like impossible with the time he has in between shifts. But bright and early Friday morning, I go into surgery. Judd is off on Friday, so he'll be here nice and early before I go in for surgery for the feeding tube, which I'll get more info on tomorrow. So I think I'm in a good place. They've got a really good plan going for me here. They're taking care of me well, and they're already helping my symptom management. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us on our adventure. Good night.